So you were
Yeah,
gonna put that into a contest, and
yeah,
you said you were this close for it to like really kick off and pop off for you.
yeah. I had made it through like the first 2 rounds of
Mhm.
the board going over. It was, I think they said they had like 1,200 submissions.
Wow.
So so being this close with that many cool submissions, because I think they were only taking 50 out of like 1,200. So I'm probably wrong because this was years ago, but I remember it was like a lot of submissions, and it was like not that many were getting in because they had limited space. So to be that close, I was like, okay, I'm on to something. I just need to like hone in and just work on that piece.
Okay.
And yeah,
Wow.
which
Wow. That's
yeah.
amazing. And so I'm not really, quite familiar with that. So can you explain like what would have been the transitional period? Like what when you have went through the judges and they would have okayed it and said, listen, you're the finalist or whatever. Like what would have happened from that point on?
What happened is there's a Facebook site called Fiction Writing, and the guy who started the page had also started Scout Media, and this was his anthology to try and get writers, boosted, try and get them started. And I
Mhm.
was like, oh yeah, that's really cool. And about every year they did an anthology. It's the of words. It's just like kind of get you a short story, 10,000 words or less,
Mhm.
uh, a story start to complete. Um, to get yourself out there and to like kind of get your practice in there. I was like, oh yeah, that's really cool.
Mhm.
I actually submitted almost late to the deadline because the theme was haunting. So there had to be some sort of death, some sort of spirit, like supernatural thing going on, some sort of, ghostly thing, some kind of haunting aspect. And I was like, I don't know how to do that. And it kind of just came to me later on, like, what if we tell it from the other perspective? Like, what if it's the perspective of the ghost who can't interact with the people that have lost them?
Mm.
So it was an interesting angle, but I used so many crutch words. My crutch words were just and
Mhm.
feel, and there were so many of them that that's what booted me out. Because when I submitted, it was like 2 months, and I'm just like sweating bullets. Like, what if they didn't like it? I
Mm.
got an email saying you're going to the second round. I was like, yes. Going into the third round, yes.
I'm listening. Yeah.
No, it was like 45 days later or something. It wasn't quite 2 months because then I got the email of like, you just missed it. Like we filled out, and like that one apparently went through so much debate on the board.
Mhm.
And that's what killed it was my crutch words. If I,
The blessing or the great thing behind that is that it helped to encourage you to write a book. You know what I mean? That
yeah,
inspired you to really get to this point.